Hi, my name is Lexi Carroll, and my group and I will be presenting over Case 7BL, which discusses therapeutic cloning ethics. This case is part of the Better Life grouping. The question to this case is, Sandy finds a research lab which has agreed to use therapeutic cloning to treat her Alzheimer's disease. Should she follow through with the therapeutic cloning procedure? This presentation will attempt to answer that question. The case is as follows. 57-year-old Sandy is a bank manager and very active in her community. One afternoon, she left work and did not know how to get home. This was the start of a downhill of no return into a world of confusion, fatigue, and forgetfulness, subsequently diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. She heard of a research study where brain cells from a fetal mouse put into the brain of an adult mouse with Alzheimer's disease reversed the effects of the disease. This observation is prompting further studies into a current field of research known as therapeutic cloning, as it applies to treating human diseases. In therapeutic cloning, a nucleus from a somatic body cell of an Alzheimer's patient could be placed into an enucleated donor egg cell and allowed to develop until brain cells are generated. These cells would then be placed back into the brain of the Alzheimer's patient. Sandy is currently seeking a research lab which would use therapeutic cloning to treat her Alzheimer's disease. We believe that the biblical ethical position would be that Sandy would not go through with this procedure. We believe that the procedure should not be accepted generally, but rather under different circumstances, such as maybe harvesting the brain cells from a different source and not using an egg cell, it might be acceptable. We believe the biblically derived principle seen in this case is the image principle, which says that as God's image, humans are sacred. And the verse we use for this is Genesis 2:2. And it says, "And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done." So God said that what he had created was good, and humans are part of that. He made humans in his image, and that obviously makes his creation good because he is good. The Christian perspective states that the ultimate basis from human rights and the reason that society ought to be concerned about the various ways biotechnology threatens to undermine human design is that we are created in the image of God and do not want to ruin that. It is also stated that there is a basis for taking care of the body during life on earth and for applying biotechnology within limits to alleviate the effects of sin. This is a direct quote from Biblically Derived Ethical Principles by Wise and Carson. We can model/represent him as we interact with the creation by how we use resources and by how we treat and care not only for our bodies, but also for each other, for animals, plants, and the environment. This is another direct quote from A Biblical Perspective of Illness and Suffering. It says, "He gives the sufferer the dignity of being united with him in his own suffering, and he gives to all of us the duty of attending to the sick, directing and freeing us thereby to show compassion to all who are ill." The biblical worldview assumptions we see in this case are that creation lives under God's authority. God created our bodies perfectly, and since we live under his authority, we do not need to be messing with his creation. The second assumption we see is that God created everything. God created humans in certain ways with all different characteristics. Changing those characteristics would be changing his perfect creation. We are made in his image, and his image is perfect, and we need to trust that. The secular perspective says, and this is a direct quote from Animal-Human Chimeras by Andrea Bostrom. It says, "In general, secular ethicists support EC research if done in pursuit of something they would consider a worthwhile research goal, but avoid making definitive judgments on whether particular actions would be ethical." In other words, they do research to get the research done and for furthering a scientific discovery rather than for the good of the people and what is morally right. Another quote is from Biotechnology and the Human Good by C. Ben Mitchell. It says, "There is little doubt that in the academic world, and especially in the world of the sciences, the dominant worldview is philosophical naturalism or scientific materialism." And the last quote is also from Biotechnology and the Human Good by C. Ben Mitchell. Naturalist evolution is presupposed virtually in all this literature, and advocates of biotechnology speak of the transcendent person as the next step in the evolution process. The secular worldview assumption we see is that there is no moral right or wrong. They would say that if this procedure in this case helps people, then it should be utilized. There's no good or evil, and there is no lawgiver. It doesn't matter if it's good or if it's bad. If it helps the person, then you're to do it. It doesn't matter who else you're hurting or what else is going on. It's only for the good of that one person. So as a group, we were asked what our personal views were about this case. Isaac said that he personally would not go through with the process of obtaining brain cells. It involves putting cells into an egg cell to create life with brain cells to then be taken away. It is similar to playing God in this situation. And I said that I do not believe that Sandy should go through with this procedure. In order to do this procedure, the egg cell used would have to be enucleated before one of Sandy's somatic cells could be inserted. When an egg cell is enucleated, the chance of a new life is taken away. Although this procedure may help reverse the effects of Alzheimer's on Sandy, there is no guarantee, and the process kills the nucleus of an egg cell. I do not believe this procedure is morally right. Riley said that he does not believe scientifically creating brain cells and placing them into a human is morally right. In the first chapter of the Bible, it says that God said he will blot out man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creeping thing and fowl of the air. For it repenteth me that I have made them. That's Genesis 6:7. And Sarah said that she personally doesn't think Sandy should go through with this procedure. She believes that the procedure they would be conducting is not morally right. The procedure involves taking out Sandy's cells and putting them into an enucleated oocyte to create cells that can be put back into Sandy. Thank you for watching.